I forget that we even have a mayor at this point.
Yeah, where was he? He just showed up today. He didn't do shit till today. The announcement was what, Sunday night?
Vanished.
He was like, I'm on vacation.
Well, you know what's funny to me is now it's so it started where it was just kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, and we thought that these people I guess there were a lot of them, but whenever there was supposed to be snow, it was milk and eggs and bread, right? There was always milk, eggs, and bread. Got to go get milk, eggs, and bread. Now, years ago, we tried to break that down. Me and one of my old roommates tried to break it down and go, I wonder, maybe it's because they know the kids are going to be home. We need legit food and breakfast stuff because they're not going to be getting lunch at school, whatever. Okay. All right. I always thought it was a little absurd, but whatever. Then COVID hit and it fucked
toilet paper.
And I do not remember, and maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I've had COVID twice. I've never had a problem with it, but maybe it was one of the symptoms in the beginning that they thought it was going to be was a violent shits. I never remember hearing that.
It never was.
That's what I'm saying. I often think like, I don't remember, but hey, look, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I don't remember shit. I tend to repeat myself. I get it. Maybe I just didn't see this shit. But no, and you couldn't get toilet paper, and you couldn't get it for fucking months. Now,
luckily I had got it way beforehand because I don't buy just one roll. Like
I don't buy the 4-pack. I buy fucking.
Oh, I buy 200 rolls.
Yeah, well, we also work in the industry that we work in because we had guys coming in like, can I get toilet paper? Like the young guys that work there. They didn't have it. Just go take this. My boss is always like, take whatever you need. I don't give a shit. But and then it dawned on me that now anytime anything even might go wrong, the human race, or I should just say the Americans, the only thing to speak of to this country, because this is where I live, the first thought in the American mind is panic and hoard.
Me, I gotta have it for me.
Stacked up like, 500-pound man who hasn't drank water in fucking 40 years is surrounded by a castle of water. And also, there's nothing wrong with the fucking tap water. Until they tell you there's nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong with it. It still smells like a pool.
Yeah.
It's bleached. It's good.
And I shared this with Jim. Brandon, we have Oakland has a Facebook page. And look, the only reason I was still on Facebook is because so many of my app passwords are tied into it, and there's so many photos, and I have access to jiu-jitsu videos that I don't have access to if I don't have a Facebook page as far as teaching beginners classes. But I went to go look at them the other day, and I can't get in there anymore, so Facebook is officially done. As soon as I sit down and do it, it's done. I have no need for it anymore. And I never post on it, so it doesn't matter. But there is a good tool that we have, like this town page. And, you got something you want to get rid of and you just feel really bad about throwing it out, or you have a question, how do I dispose of this thing? You get an answer fairly quickly. And the admin for that page is very strict. He will eliminate anything you say that's not directly pertinent to the question that you're asking. Gone. Why don't you do this? Gone. So somebody posted on there that the employee at Wawa was going, everybody buy water. Buy water when you come inside. You got to get water. They told us not to drink the water. The water. You got to buy the water.
That's a carnival barker. I'm down.
Going fast. It's going fast. Come on.
It's going fast. Hey, you with the face. Get over here.
Oh, I did the last bar.
Drink some water.
the last bar art sale that we had like a flea market. We're doing like a couple a year. But the last one, it was a bunch of art geeks outside just sitting there like, hoping people would come in. And I was seeing people walk by, and I was like talking to someone. I was like, hey, what are you doing out there? Come on in here, spend some money. What do you got there? We got clothes. We got drawings. Come on down. How much does it cost? You won't know until you find out. Come on down. It's cheap. Everybody cheap. And the guy walked by and came in. It was a complete weirdo. The guy that came in, I was like, there you go. That's how you do it. Just harass him until they come in the door.
Water everywhere.
Water here. I need water. I'm thirsty. I need water here. It was it's yeah. I don't.
Brandon, what's your neighborhood Facebook page?
The Northern Liberties neighborhood Facebook page, not that interesting to be honest. It's there's like 90% white moms complaining, and then there's probably 2 or 3 like old residents that they must be so sick of everyone that no matter what happens, they're like, yeah, that happens here, which also pisses me off.
Right.
It'd be like someone got robbed around the corner from my house, and they'd be like, this is getting crazy. Then some guy, Cyrus NP, comes in. He's like, yeah, that used to be the worst block in the neighborhood. It's like, okay, that doesn't mean it's not bad that someone got robbed. Yeah.
Hey, there's something out front of my house. You want to pick it up? It's for free. Why don't you donate it somewhere? Because I don't fucking feel like it. It's out front. You don't want it?
Say the right thing.
You don't want it? Trash men will get it.
And fucking ignore it. Yeah, trash dude will come by.
I mean, I got yelled at for saying that a picture of a video of a mountain was in South Jersey. I got yelled at for 4 days for it.
Hold on.
And would not
that
let
was
up.
so funny.
Wouldn't let up. I think I know I live there. In Jersey? Where? We should hang out. I don't know if I said that, but it was like a bunch of stuff. I was just
coming back that like 4th time being like, this is Camden County, New Jersey.
I wouldn't elaborate, which was the best part.
Was dressed
There was no matching of wits. If I didn't know what to say, I would go, no, New Jersey.
This is Camden County, New Jersey. Oh, that was fucking funny.
All right, here we go. Let's do our opening. Ready?
Oh, there was all the good stuff.
There's all the good stuff.
I got another good thing.
All right, mute up. Ready?
Yep.
Welcome to Wrestling is Hard, where every side is the dark side of the ring and everything goes back to AAA, including El Hijo del Vikingo. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Email questions, complaints at wrestlingisHard@gmail.com. I am Jim. Brandon, hello. How are you? How was your week? How's the water situation in Northern Liberties? How you feeling, buddy?
Everything's good. I got 15 gallons of Deer Park now. I don't know what to do with. I'm going back to tap, apparently. So, yeah. Besides that, not too much going on.
Listeners, if you're unaware, we just found out we're no longer. We were in a water emergency because strange. Not going to say anything too political, but, you know, the industrial complex seems to be breaking down in the United States. There's train crashes all over the place. Shareholders sure are making a lot of money, but man, we little people are getting fucked. And a company dumped, whether it intentionally or unintentionally, dumped a bunch of latex into the Delaware River.
Latex finishing solution, whatever that is.
Liquid latex.
Yeah, liquid latex. My butthole is a balloon right now. Hold on. My butthole is a balloon right now.
Hey.
So
never
great.
Gonna get old. It's never gonna get old. We had to. There was basically mini riots throughout Philadelphia. People fist fighting for bottles of water. 400, 500-pound people in go on your hover rounds, fist fighting in the Walmart to get the water that they're never going to use. And city government didn't handle it all that great. But I'll tell you, I got about 20 gallons of water in my house that all came from the tap. That's just been. I got it all stored, ready for the apocalypse. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I have many, but this was what I was going to say earlier. I'll say it now, because of, like you said, the infrastructure is just collapsing in this country. The industrial complex is falling apart.
By choice. It's by choice. They don't want to put any money into it. They want to keep.
They want to keep giving themselves raises. Banks are closing. It's the same shit over and over again. Do you remember? I mean, I know you guys remember. We've had this conversation about one time about how long before it becomes ironic to wear a MAGA hat.
We're getting there.
Well, I think we're there. I think everything is such a fucking joke at this point. I mean, MAGA guy is getting locked up every day. I'm going to arrest me. Start protest our freedoms. And he's yelling. The other one's yelling. Fucking chemicals are burning. This is fucking insanity. And I think we're at that point where it's just like, I don't even give a fuck anymore. I really don't.
And the farmers, the children of the farmers, maybe they're for your children. They can inherit your money. Maybe you don't like them, but that's okay because you won't pay taxes on it anyway. Actual quote from MAGA King. Brandon, go ahead.
Fucking God.
Frankly, what does he say? Frankly, I don't think you owe them anything. He's like, that was. I started laughing at that.
I did not believe it was real. It took me a little while to believe that it was actually real. There you go.
If you don't love them, maybe they deserved it. Either way, I don't think you owe him anything. But if
so,
you do,
it's so self-aware about his voters. You know what I mean? Like, how many of his voters' parent or families have just abandoned them now because they're like, right, oh God, our team's gonna win the next World Series in 2 years. I can't wait. I'm a diehard fan of MAGA. That their families have just abandoned them, and now they're alone. And he's like, I know none of your families like you, but that's okay because you won't have to pay taxes. Vote for me. Oh, what a time. What a time to be alive, brother.
if you want to go full irony edgelord, I think maybe funnier than the MAGA hat is the Keep America Great. As if we're in a greatness right now, I might have to get
keep
one of
it. This is great.
It is. This is great.
This is my
top 10 biggest fucking cities.
Changed
in the United
nothing.
States that we had to fucking conserve water because it was poisoned.
And apparently, I just saw in the news before we started recording that, these people fuck up a lot up there in Bristol. A lot of fuck ups in that factory in Bristol.
Something like the 20th since like 1990 or something like that.
Now I'm going to be blowing. I'm going to be blowing them little latex balloons. This is old man shit. I'm sorry. I'm going to be blowing them little latex balloons through a straw. Remember them, Jim?
Yeah. What the fuck were they made at? Was it latex?
It was like some kind of plastic.
It smelled awful.
And it came in a metal tube.
Brandon, so it was this stuff that you got like a hard plastic straw, thin hard plastic straw. And it came in a metal tube, as Chris is describing. And you took like a dollop of it, like a little ball of it. You put it on the edge of you guys, Brandon, you're way too young for this. On the edge of this tiny little straw. And it was like rainbow. Looked like a rainbow. And you would blow it, you would form these bubbles made out of some kind of it was absolutely insane. And it was 100% poison.
That's going to be the tip of your penis when you go pee. It's going to have a little film over the edge of it, and so you go pee and just slowly starts self-filling balloon pops all over your toilet. We're running. We only got 3 left.
So wait, hold on. They actually sell this stuff on Amazon.
Okay, what's it called?
Balloonies. B-loonies. Balloonies. Plastic balloons variety pack. It's $6.96.
Made in China, obviously.
Serious stuff. Yeah, and it comes with straws, and you want to talk about phthalates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some phthalates for you. As soon as you open that, your taint shrinks.
Yep.
Every package is like a 3-year-old just sucking it.
Ugh. Oh, it's gross.
Yeah, it was definitely like, oh God, it had to be pure. It was noxious. I remember the smell of it.
All right, so in the U.S., it was called Super Elastic Bubble Plastic, and it was manufactured by Whammo.
Okay.
Consisted of a tube of viscous plastic and a thin straw used to blow semi-solid bubbles. Oh God, remember that stuff?
Yeah.
Calamutants.
Calamutants is what we used to call it. Doctor Who reference.
You Doctor Who fans.
Ever watched Doctor Who in the 70s? Calamutants were everywhere. We used to blow them, so like they were kind of solid.
Yeah, they were real.
When the air conditioner was on, the air conditioning unit, we'd blow them by the air conditioning unit, and they would turn like rock solid from the cold air. And we would like gum them all together. I'm sure I chewed on it at some point. Like,
you probably found them in the trash and ate it.
Yeah. Listen to our last week's episode if you want to find out about my trash eating episodes. All right. Any final thoughts before we move on? Ready?
No, I'm good.
Chris.
He's got something.
I know. So real quick. Okay. I'm going to go through some Stardom news. Do you guys want spoilers or not?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Waka Tsukiyama and Tom Nakano faced off against Nanae Takahashi and Kairi at a New Blood show. If Waka Tsukiyama lost, she was out. She won. I still haven't watched the show. It was on pay-per-view, and I wasn't fucking paying $50 for it. No, thank you. But she won. She finally won. First time she won in 2.5 years. It's her first win ever in all of professional wrestling. I'm not just talking about Stardom. Since she started professional wrestling, she has never won. So she won. I haven't watched it yet, but that happened. Also, the Cinderella Tournament is going on. First round, a bunch of draws. But here's who came through. A bunch of people got draws. So Momo Watanabe went through. She's got a bye. She's not facing anybody. Mai Sakurai beat Julia. She's facing the Mariah May, who is, if you remember, she's in Cosmic Angels offshoot Club Venus. Suri is facing off Saki Kashima. Waka Tsukiyama won again, and she's got a bye. A new member named Xena, Xena. She's from Australia. She's facing off against Thekla. Saida versus Mirai. We got Natsuko Tora versus Tom Nakano, and Ami Souri's got a bye too because Starlight Kid and Haruko Umasaki drew. So there you go. Good old Cinderella tournament. It's always usually about new people getting through. So we got some upsets in there, so it's bound to happen. So there you go. That's what we have going forward with Stardom. Not much else to talk about there. Brandon, you got any questions, thoughts, concerns?
No, that sounded like a strip club sports radio ad there.
Check out.
Come see the Cosmic Angels at Club Venus.
Club Venus. Mariah May, please approach the stage. Mariah May.
Xena, AE, and Thekla. Come on.
Oh boy.
Nothing on that, Chris.
Yeah, Chris got on.
Wiping his eyes.
All right. How about CM Punk? Do we really want to talk about this? Do you want to talk about this? Brandon, do we want to talk about this?
I don't think so. I mean, what is
there
there
have a take?
No, I don't really have a take. Chris, do you have a take on this CM Punk drama?
Other than somebody referring to him as the world's grumpiest Rocket from the Crypt fan? No.
I did love that. And I also said if there's any argument against straight edge people, this is it. It's someone like CM Punk. It's CM Punk. Like if anybody should smoke a little bit of weed once in a while, it's CM Punk.
Yeah,
calm
Jesus
the fuck
Christ.
down. The guy needs some drugs. Some people need it.
He seems to just be genuinely not cool, which I've now accepted.
Right. Well, yeah, it does have a Pepsi tattoo. Sorry. I mean, I got some bad tattoos too. Chris can attest. He's got some bad tattoos too.
Yeah, we all do. That's it.
But we get them. Go ahead.
So, I guess his words throughout the years, watching documentaries about him, didn't have the greatest childhood growing up. And never dealt with it. Now he acts like a fucking asshole all the time.
No, he's rich and he never dealt with it.
Yeah, never dealt with it. Oh, I'm okay. I got money. What do I care? Yeah, psychological help might be in the... nothing wrong with that. But you got to enjoy your life. You can't hate everything that you do all the time. It means something's wrong.
Brandon?
I don't know what the age is, call it 30 plus, 35 plus. If you still have a lot of drama going on, it's suspect, right?
Right.
Finish your thought. I'm sorry.
No, I'm done.
Oh, you at that point in your life should, once you hit that mid-30s mark, like you said, you should
for men
be able
in particular.
For men in particular, I can't speak to anybody else. I'm just
women.
saying myself.
I've always said this, and I'll say it a million times. Women mature way faster than men do. Women tend to have their shit together in their mid-20s to late 20s. Men take fucking forever to get their shit together.
Yeah.
They still think it's party on the weekend till fucking like, oh, I'm going out and hanging out with the boys tonight. I'm fucking 37. Like,
yeah, Saturday nights Saturdays are for the boys.
Yeah, grow up.
No, what I was saying is that you eventually get to a point in your life. Once you get to that mid-30s, you have to understand that you control all of this. And if there's a situation that you don't like, you have to put the work in to extricate yourself from that situation. You can't wait for somebody to come along and save you from it. You can't wait for it to just magically change or to magically get better. You're unhappy. You have to do whatever work possible, no matter how hard it is. You have to, and be willing to accept failure when you go down that path, to extricate yourself from any situation that's like that. And, if you're in there, then you might be the cause of said toxicity in that situation, meaning it seems to have followed you, right? I mean, look, you look at this guy and you look at the way that he behaves and the attitude that he carries himself with. First of all, when you look at this guy, there is no reason why he ever really, especially in that era, should have been in WWE. Now, he was a hell of a wrestler. I'm not saying that he didn't have the talent to be there, but just physically looking at him, there was some bit of, I guess, maybe luck. Some things fell in the right place. And I'm not saying that you have to be like, well, you know what? I'm lucky to be here, so I might as well just shut up and like it. I'm not saying that. But you have to understand that, man, you're in a really good fucking spot. Now, that doesn't mean you can't be unhappy there and want to leave. But to just, you find yourself in that position and you're not the archetype of person who wants to, the attitude is somebody that wants to exist well in a corporate atmosphere. I can't do that. None of us can do that. It's fucking, you got to be completely insane, in my opinion, to be able to do that.
Brandon, how's it going, by the way? How's the new job?
But you understand.
So far,
yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I agree. I was going to say, I don't think I've ever, knock on wood with this one, this hasn't happened yet, but it's only been 12 days, but I don't think I've ever had a job in my career where I didn't feel like it was in someone's direct interest to fuck me over. Mm-hmm. That's often going to be a case. There's almost always going to be a coworker that you don't like, and with reason, you don't get along with. But at a certain age, I'm 29, you just have some fucking perspective to like, this is just a guy. I can work around him, especially as like an elder statesman in this company. When he got that first pop, I can't imagine there was many people in the locker room that actively didn't want it to go well. So right. He's worked himself into this situation with people where it's just like, I don't know. At a certain age, you just realize, even if I hate this guy, it's just a guy. I kind of get where he's coming from. He's clearly a goober. He has issues, whatever it is. But I don't need to be angry in the workplace. Like, if there's money to be made, I got shit to do. You can work around these things when you need to. That's what I don't get. He's like, he can't control to this point. At this point, can't control to this point in his life just the basic human emotions.
Just keep your mouth shut about certain shit. You don't have to have an opinion. Like, we've talked about it before. Not everybody has to have an opinion on everything. You don't like something that's going on at work? Just fucking ignore and keep working. How's it affecting you? Especially if you're CM Punk, you're getting paid a fucking handfuls of money. $1,000 bills are being thrown at you constantly, whether it's through merch or just your contract. You can't just shut the fuck up and make the money. You're that drama starved.
I go to work.
Chris said, it's part of it's his fucking fault. Go ahead, Chris. I'll let you finish your.
Oh no, because I kind of forgot where I was going.
Right, well, how about this then?
This is a guy. This is also a guy who main evented a fucking UFC pay-per-view.
Right.
Like it's almost like it's like this weird like. So you have this drive to do this thing, but you allow everything involved in that thing drag you down. It's like opposite. It seems. What is that?
Counterintuitive
and antithetical to his work ethic, right? I go to work. I'm there to make money, and then I go home. I don't care. This one said this, and they weren't doing this. Okay, all right. I gotta go do this. I don't get it.
Right. We're not talking about my own business. Lake house money here.
I don't give a fuck.
I gotta.
We're not going to. Sorry, we're all talking. We're not going to work for like lake house money like he is. This is just to survive, and we can somehow figure out a way to manage this.
Right. Just deal with it. Anyway, okay. Let's throw this on his head. We're about to go into AEW Dynamite. I would like to talk about Nate Buckhead's podcast with Moxley, which just dropped this morning. It was pretty interesting. But before we go into this, real quick. And we're going to preview AEW a little bit too this week before we talk about WrestleMania. But so beginning of AEW, Young Bucks carted off in an ambulance. It's been pointed out that CM Punk's face was covered up on the side of the truck, which is pretty interesting. The Hangman goes with him to help him out. We don't know who attacked the Young Bucks. End of the shows, there's a match. We'll get to it in a minute, but anyway, there's some Don Callis drama with Kenny Omega and stuff like that. Brandon, is this CM Punk? Did CM Punk take him out? Is CM Punk now that coming back to AEW, and this has all been fucking bullshit, just fed to. Mind you, FTR, the FTR bald guy, put out the other day on his podcast that no one listens to, that everything that comes out in the so-called pro wrestling media has been fed by people. They don't do any investigating. They don't know anything unless someone told them. The reason they told them was for a reason, to either help themselves out, to help the company out, whatever. He put this out there this week. All the CM Punk stuff comes out here. CM Punk's feeding into it. Mox is on the podcast touching on it, not really talking about it, but kind of touching on it. Talk to me, Brandon. CM Punk's behind all this.
This is how that would be treated if that's what it was. I'm not going to make a prediction either way, but if that's where they were going, you're getting the airing of grievances stage here by some of the I don't want to call them elder statesmen. Sounds so fucking dorky, but the
top of the card,
more mature top of the card guys, more mature wrestlers, CM Punk included. I don't know if I'd call him mature, but you're getting their little like, here's my piece. I don't want to fucking talk about it anymore, but here's my little thing. There's two reasons that you would do that. One of them is a decision's been made that he's not fucking coming back. The other one is that he's fucking coming back. He put the YBs in the Ambalam.
I gotta say, that would be the old internet that thinks they know everything. This would be the best shit ever. I'm all for it. I fucking hope it's him. He comes back like, yeah, it was all my plan. Chris, thoughts?
First of all, I know Brandon doesn't want to sound like a dork, but he's talking on a wrestling podcast right now. So I think it's too late.
We walk a tightrope here.
We walk a tightrope. See, I didn't even think about that. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to say it is true, because I think if I keep just saying it is true, then it'll come true, because that would be fantastic.
Oh, my God.
We got y'all. People will be like, he doesn't deserve it.
I can't think of a logical reason. Let's talk about, okay, we'll get to that at the end. Now, we're already in it. I can't think of a logical reason why Don Callis would be doing this thing where he's kind of screwing over Kenny Omega, trying to get him separated from the Young Bucks. He's helping Kenny Omega, but at the same time, he's kind of wedging the between Omega, the Young Bucks, and Hangman, unless there's another person. There's got to be somebody involved. You know what I mean? For the dramatic, American Western professional wrestling storyline. A real creep behind the scenes that's really fucking everybody over. I don't think it's MJF. MJF's got his own thing. He doesn't need anybody else. The guy's perfect on his own. He doesn't need anybody else.
No, that would be great.
Right. I don't think we'll see Forbidden Door. We're going to, say maybe we're fantasy booking, of course, but we'll say maybe it's going to be Omega versus Ospreay. There is nothing going on between AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling that does not directly involve a show that is combined with them. You know what I mean? Like next week we have Kenny Omega versus Jeff Cobb, but you don't hear mention of New Japan Pro Wrestling ever unless there's, hey, in 3 weeks we're going to have a show combined with New Japan. You never hear shit about fucking New Japan. He doesn't even have the champ. He's the U.S. champ, Kenny Omega. He never even carries the fucking title with him. So New Japan, I don't think he's involved in. I don't think it has anything to do with the United Empire. I'm telling you, man. Oh, my God. Fantasy booking, of course. Brandon, final thoughts on it.
This is borderline high fantasy booking, but what if we get CM Punk comes out with Larry, but Larry is foaming at the mouth with Ace Steel in like full pup play, like cosplay gear. And he's walking him on a leash out, and he's got him tied up at ringside. If Kenny Omega gets steer him, Ace Steel might sink his teeth into him. Now that's a good angle.
That's a good soundbite. I should get that Australian guy saying the dog comes bounding down. That should be our soundbite for.
Fine line.
There you go, Chris. Final thoughts on this.
The only thing that would make Brandon's idea better is if it was actually Larry with Ace Steel's head, like in Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks. Mars Attacks. I'm thinking
Mars
Invasion
Attacks.
of Body Snatchers. Yeah, that's
Mars Attacks with actually human head, like
there, Jessica Parker. Very good, very good. Yeah. So anyway, back to this podcast. Not our podcast, someone else's podcast. Renee Paquette had Jon Moxley on. Pretty good conversation. Go out of your way to check it out. It's about an hour long. She admits that when she doesn't have a guest, she just brings John on. So that's always fun. But he mentions that and one of the more bizarre things, it's at one point during his whole CM Punk versus him feud, the one thing I found fascinating was that he wasn't under contract during this thing, and he could have left at any point with the belt. He was still the champ, but he wasn't under contract. I thought it was absolutely bizarre. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, he said that he thought about pulling up to SummerSlam with the AEW Championship belt, which is, the pro wrestler in him. That's probably the coolest thing that he could have done. A lot here that we can talk about. I don't know if we want to go point by point.
No, go ahead. Just pull some shit up.
Yeah, a couple of things off the top of my mind. One thing that I've spent a lot of time on this podcast talking about was how real sports and mixed martial arts in particular breed compelling storylines naturally. Mm-hmm. And Jon Moxley spent a couple of minutes talking about that's what he uses as inspiration for how to tell a story within a match or a long-term story, which I don't know if I want to say validating. I knew it was a good idea, but I thought that was cool that one of the top guys in AEW is spitting the same shit that we've been saying on this podcast. Mm-hmm. You won't hear anywhere else. Other than that, yeah, he touched on CM Punk a little bit at the beginning. I wasn't sure if that's where he was going, but again, the airing of grievances. I'm trying to think of other stuff. You guys go. Maybe something will pop up.
Chris, good.
Yeah, no, I that was actually, it opened my eyes to what his thought process was, which was really cool as far as you were saying with being able to tie it in with, it doesn't have to be these long drawn out wrestling storylines. I mean, I know always, I'm a big fan of that. So I always say we're going to talk about Kenny Omega and Vikingo later. And to me, it's like, well, why do I care? It's always, why do I care? Only because I like a storyline to get involved in and get me excited for a match. But that's just my opinion. I never see what they're doing. Like having a match like that on a Wednesday night, a fucking random Wednesday is wrong. And they're, and they did tell a bit of a backstory for it. I wasn't aware of it until last week, but yeah, I did like that I'm a big fan of I'm not a fan of the fact that of the reasoning for doing things the way that you do them is because that's the way you've always done them. I say that all the time. I can't stand that. There's always different ways to do things. And I like that he's breaking from the norm. I mean, even when he brought up the Young Bucks and he talks about how, the older wrestlers don't like them, they're spot monkeys. Hey, listen, we shit on the Young Bucks too. But the reason why we shit on the Young Bucks is I give you my reasons. It's bad the same
acting.
Match.
That's my big problem.
Bad acting. It's the same match over and over again. There's too many fucking gimmicks in the ring. And, I just, yeah, I mean, it was good. He was very engaged. Sometimes he comes off as very unengaged and distant and just kind of not there. But no, it was interesting. Gave me a nice little hour listen this morning. He wouldn't get too far into the backstage stuff, which was really good. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, whatever. Good stuff. I enjoyed it. And she's really good. She's a good interviewer. She's a professional, awesome. Which so many people in this universe, in this world are not anymore. And it seems that she comes off like a professional. She's not even, I understand that she's in pro wrestling, but she's never playing a character. She doesn't play a character on her podcast. And I don't mean that as far as playing a pro wrestling character. I mean that Stephen A. Smith plays a fucking character on TV.
Right. It's not a gimmick.
And, she's actually she handles it like a journalist, which is really good. I enjoyed the way that she does her. She's probably one of the best backstage interviewers in wrestling for years. And, it was a good podcast. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. Fucking moron. I can't articulate the way I feel. What's wrong? I'm fucking 47.
Yeah. Young Sheldon, chill.
I liked it. Fuck. That's me. And then he makes fun of me watching Young Sheldon.
Young Sheldon.
He's
the grandson of some fucking weird fucking dude. The actor. the young Sheldon actor.
Really, let's look him up.
Look it up. Yeah.
Do you have thoughts, Jim? I wanted to say one last thing before you or after you go.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, look, I'm a dummy. I'm watching fucking wrestling in the first place. I give a lot of shit to these secondary shows that you're supposed to watch to know what's going on. Mm-hmm. That was like a pure additive to me, where if I'm watching wrestling as a dummy, all I want to know is, like, I know that you thought about what's going on here, so that there's some meaning to it, and it's not just complete random bullshit, which it often feels like. Right. I will now watch Jon Moxley's matches a little bit more coherently, because I'm like, okay, it's good to hear that this guy's putting that level of thought into his performances.
Yeah, when he was talking about the Texas Death Match, the origin of Texas Death Match, and just going through the entire process, his mental process of in fights, and he was comparing it when we were just talking about it. He compares it to like MMA and stuff like that. Shit happens in fights, and he made a good point. And when we were watching, I know when I was watching live, I think we all watched Solo. When I was watching live, and he brought that brick from under the ring, and then used it. It was like, what the fuck? Like, wait, what the fuck is that? And he hit legit bricks, and he's breaking fingers with bricks. I mean, he mentions it in this interview about how, he just brought it in the ring, used it, and did it, and he got the effect he wanted. Not like stand there staring at it like, I'm going to use a brick. No, he just brought this fucking brick in the ring, and it broke someone's fingers with it. Fucking spectacular. And it really makes me appreciate, and it's like, I talked about it after we watched pay-per-view, that Texas Death Match, one of my favorite matches of the year. It's still early, but still, I fucking love that match. But to see that, like you said, Brandon, that he put so much thought into it, and there was a plan, and it wasn't just shit to just make you grossed out. There was plenty of gross out moments, but he says I always want to do something new. I want to try something new, and it's fun when you get a guy like Jon Moxley. He's he's a funny guy. He's he's an interesting character inside and outside the ring, but at times he seems like he's genuinely intelligent. You know what I mean? Like, he really enjoys it, and he really loves pro wrestling, which is pretty cool. And it comes across that way, especially when you hear him, and you're not getting, and he mentions it, how the sausage is made. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to know about that shit. But he presented it in a way where it was, and he mentions that exact phrase, how the sausage is made. He presented it in a way where it was like interesting and engaging, and he doesn't give away too much shit. And, I mean, we're adults. We understand that it's a fucking pre-produced event. We're watching fake fights, but he doesn't dumb it down for you. It was very good. It was very good. I definitely check it out. It was like an hour long. Go ahead, Brandon.
That's like one of the biggest challenges with pro wrestling now, is how to properly talk about how the sausage is made. It's very difficult when everybody thinks they know fucking everything and everybody's an insider because they have a Twitter account. But like I was saying, I'm down to be the sheep. I just want to feel like the shepherd knows where they're going. I don't really care where it is, but don't just ramble me in a circle and then dump Bray Wyatt after one Diet Pepsi fucking freeze out match or whatever it was called.
Christ. Oh, we're going to talk about that. Okay, Chris, final thoughts on this.
Well, I have a thought.
Before we move on.
I have a thought. I looked up this kid's grandfather.
Yeah, good.
All right. Well, the kid's name's Ian Armitage.
Oh, Armitage. That's who he is. He's the Armitage.
His father is Richard Armitage. His grandfather was Richard Armitage. Yes. Let's just get into what Richard Armitage, a few things he's involved in.
Oh, I know.
He was he was at the State Department under Colin Powell, and he was to blame for the Plame affair, which was a leak of a CIA asset. So there's number one. He said he was sorry for that, so that's cool. It was a terrible error on my part, and he issued an apology. But let's get in. So he's involved in that. He's involved with the exact words, "Let's bomb Pakistan back to the Stone Age."
Now, turn that place to glass.
Yeah, Jim has keyed me in on a podcast, and the first 10 episodes are about the Iraq War, so I am a little bit keen on what's going on, what they're talking about here. But let's go just to my fucking favorite. He was involved with Ted Shackley in Ted. I'm just giving you a name, not going to explain who that is. He's involved with this guy in heroin smuggling from Southeast Asia to basically fund the Iran-Contra affair. And then he was accused of organizing heroin smuggling in the Golden Triangle in the 60s and 70s. And
he's racking up these terrible errors.
Yeah, he's a pretty good guy.
Well, only one of them was a terrible error. The other ones were intentional.
Yeah. I released somebody's name that was an asset for the CIA. Probably got them fucking killed. But the other one is that the Iran-Contra thing, which I forget what the name of the movie is, but the guy's name's Barry Seal. Tom Cruise was in the movie, and it's everyone. Just if you're listening to this and you ever want to watch a movie about how fucked up shit was in the 80s, go watch that fucking movie. I forget. I think it's called Made in America. And it stars Tom Cruise as Barry Seal. And it's fucking wild. But so that's the kid on young Sheldor.
Yes, Richard Armitage. I knew he was.
Richard Armitage.
Mind you, Richard Armitage, no prison time, I believe, for any of this.
No.
But he's still rich. We're all fucked.
Kept all that fucking heroin money.
All that heroin money. Brandon, thoughts on Richard Armitage?
There's 2 3-letter acronyms that freak me out, and they're DMT and CIA. I hear either of those, I get the goosebumps, get the heebie-jeebies.
Oh, sorry, it took so long.
Oh, I only got one left.
I got one. No, I got 2 left.
Somebody's got to take some cuts up here.
Real quick, I'm going to go through AEW Dynamite. Anything worth talking about? Nope. FTR is going to leave AEW if the Guns beat them. They challenged them for the title. Hook beat the shit out of Stokely Hathaway. Nice clip of Stokely Hathaway walking the gauntlet. Everybody laughing at him, especially Riho. That was fantastic. Jon Moxley beat the piss out of Stu Grayson, then continued to beat the piss out of him backstage. So we're getting kind of heelish. We've talked about it. The Bulletproof Combat Club. Bullet Club Combat Club. Sky Blue, big fan of hers, by the way. Anyway,
boy,
that title match was
what
Kenny
the hell
Omega
was that?
versus Io del Vikingo, which I was corrected by Excalibur. It's Vikingo, not Vikingo. 16 minutes and 53 seconds. Very, very cool match. I thought this is a very cool match. Would I give it 5 stars like the Wrestler Observer Online? Probably not. I thought this was a very cool match, though. I particularly like the contrast in their styles, even though both of them are fucking fantastic. That fucking the old Vikingo, man, he could do some shit. Brandon, thoughts? I mean, honestly, real quick, just one point. This is what you want dream matches to be like. If you're going to advertise something as a dream match, just get all your shit in, brother, in 15 minutes. Fucking perfect. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, I thought it was cool to see AAA Kenny. I hadn't watched any of his shit there. A lot more flips than I was used to in that match. Obviously, should have expected it, just didn't think about it. And I saw it, I was like, this is fun. Again, one thing they've gotten pretty good at as of late is just a great cable TV main event. The rest of the show, though, I was thinking, like, it's funny that they're starting to do house shows, and AEW Dynamite just feels like a house show at this point. It's a lot of just random shit. And I that's kind of my only overarching point is that I was having a lot of fun with Dynamite at some points here where it's chaotic. I'm like, boy, this reminds me of like some of those WCW, like you don't know what you're going to get. And that's there's a fine line between chaos and just like, this is just random bullshit they're throwing at us. So.
Yeah, you had 2 backstage attacks. Yeah, this was very 90s TV wrestling. I kind of enjoyed it. Go ahead, Chris. Thoughts?
I'll give you this. I'll give you that. The backstage attacks, but they look like they're all the same backstage attacks. So we're not spreading the same shit between different storylines, which is good. And Hijo del Vikingos just got the symbol for Vikings on the History Channel on the back of his shirt.
He watched that a little bit too much. He watched that show and he was like, I'm basing my entire personality on this show.
He also came out with a trash can on his head that had like fucking... So I watch this at work and then I go back. I put it on at work and then I go back and watch it at home later. in the weekend when he came out, I looked at this guy that was watching with me. We were just like, what the fuck is he wearing?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. There is a cartoon or a comic where someone is a Viking and they have a helmet like that. It's not Hagar the Horrible. Trying to, but yeah, he came out with that thing on his head. And the first thing I thought of, he looked like the guy from Fat Albert that had who's got the ski cap pulled down with the eyeball.
There's an episode of The Simpsons where Homer gets a bucket stuck on his head. They got to drill eye holes in it so he can see. That's it. That's what he looked like.
But otherwise, I thought it was great. I thought this was a great episode of A-Dub. When this is good Wednesday fucking pro wrestling, brother, and that's fantastic, and keeps me entertained. Any final thoughts on this, Brandon?
Nah, I'm good.
Chris, final thoughts on AEW this week?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, so next week or tonight, I guess tomorrow night. We get Ruby Soho versus Willow Nightingale, Matt Hardy versus Jack Perry, 6-man tag match, Dalton Castle and the Boys versus Blackpool Combat Club. Mox is going to choke the living shit out of one of the boys, that's for sure.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, AEW International title, Orange Cassidy versus The Butcher. Singles match, Adam Cole. Oh, we forgot about Adam Cole's promo, and then Daniel Garcia coming out. Doing that whole thing. So they're wrestling next week. I guess this is his first official match back in the IWGP US heavyweight title match, which I had mentioned earlier. Kenny Omega defends against Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb's been on New Japan Pro Wrestling post match stuff talking about Kenny Omega. You're not even here, man. I'm gonna come over there and take you. I don't think I won't show up, because that's the way he talks. Kind of like surfer sounding. Don't think I won't show up on Wednesday night somewhere. I don't know where you're going to be. I'm going to come and challenge you. At one point, he's doing a promo, Jeff Cobb, and there's a chair behind him, and he trips over the chair. It's hilarious. But anyway, we get Kenny Omega versus Jeff Cobb. It should be good. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, that's fun. I slowly leading up towards Forbidden Door here. Some of these matchups. I don't know if that's what they're going for there.
Yeah. And they have a really, we'll talk about next week, but AEW has a big show planned for 2 weeks from now, which would be after WrestleMania. We'll talk about that next week.
This is kind of what cable TV. Sorry, this is kind of what cable TV Kenny Omega is made for. Just throw him in there with random interesting person, and he'll work a quality match with them for 15 minutes at the end of a Wednesday night.
Yeah, and I'm into it because then you can work the story around him. All this story with the Young Bucks and all that stuff. It doesn't have to be the center of it. You can have it at the beginning of the show, in the middle of the show, and then you can have him having confrontations and shit like that afterwards. I'm just curious where this is going to go. Do we get a Will Ospreay appearance? I don't know if we're going to do that or not at the end of this. Do you want to talk about the show in 2 weeks? It's fucking stacked. We can wait till next week to talk about it. It's up to you guys. Brandon?
We got a lot of, I'm sorry.
No, we got WrestleMania to talk about. You're right.
Way too much wrestling. We're going to go down a rabbit hole with that. That's my vote. It's up to you guys.
No, that's fine because we would end up talking about it next week anyway. Okay, so WrestleMania is this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Yippee-ki-yay. Brandon, this is your time of year, brother. You're fucking excited. You're fired up. I know it. Let's go through this.
This is probably the least excited I've ever been for WrestleMania.
Last year I wasn't all that excited except for the Jackass. Oh no, we knew that Stone Cold was going to be in it, so we were fucking stoked. Yeah, what am I talking about? That's a complete lie. We were all stoked for fucking WrestleMania last year. This year, not so much. And I honestly, and I say it, and I jokingly say it, sometimes over the years since we've been recording, I don't know what the fuck's going on in WWE. This year, I legit have no fucking idea what's going on. I'm going into this blind. I watched the only match I've watched was we watched the Royal Rumble, and I watched the match with Roman Reigns, the 40-minute match with Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn, and I watched SummerSlam, a couple matches of SummerSlam. That's how many matches I've watched. I cannot think of another match that I watched. Royal Rumble was the Mountain Dew match, right? Blackout Mountain Dew show.
Yeah, you guys. It was.
Or was that elimination? No, that was fucking Royal Rumble. That's right.
Yeah.
So there you go. So I'm going in completely blind. So I'm going to go through this card. I'm going to bounce back and forth to you guys. I want you to tell me your excitement level and what you think is going to happen. And I don't know because I have no idea. So here we go. First match, night one. Mind you, some of these matches have not been confirmed, particularly in night two. We do have two. We still have SmackDown to go, which I imagine night two is heavy on SmackDown shit. But there's a list of matches that haven't been confirmed, and we'll just go through them. Okay. Here we go. Night one. A man who is accused of having sex with an underage girl, Austin Theory, will be defending his United States Heavyweight Championship against John Cena. Brandon, thoughts?
Cena at WrestleMania. Fuck yeah. That'll definitely. This is the exact type of once a year shit I'm excited for. I just have so little context on Austin Theory that he still is relatively meaningless to me, which is definitely well, not definitely. It's kind of a them problem, but partially a me problem.
Oh, I lied. I have seen a couple of his promos. They ain't great. Chris, thoughts?
I'm with Brandon. John Cena, WrestleMania. He's always good.
I can't wait.
And Austin Theory.
Next up.
Let's go.
Singles match. Seth freaking Rollins versus Logan Paul. Brandon, thoughts?
SFNR and NLP going mano y mano in the squared circle.
It'd be great.
C-. I don't know. Who cares? I'll watch it.
Chris, thoughts? Oh, I'm watching it. I don't know. I'm just trying to get you. You got to help me get excited here. Go ahead, Chris.
I was having this conversation with two guys on Saturday night. I never really cared about Seth Rollins. It's not a knock on his skill as a wrestler. I just never really cared.
Yeah, he's a good wrestler.
He's a good wrestler. Yeah, I've never been truly bought into. I think it was just the night. I think the only two times I was really sold on Seth Rollins and excited about it were WrestleMania in San Francisco and the Niner Stadium when he won. He cashed in Money in the Bank. When
Randy Orton was really good,
and he was in the Randy Orton match earlier on that night. And what else do we have? I can't really think of too much. Oh, when he wrestled Sting and John Cena in the same night, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, that was good.
But other than that, I mean, look, he's an entertaining wrestler, and Logan Paul is he's a beast, dude. I mean, you can't shit on the guy other than, as far as his wrestling goes, the guy's pretty fucking good. And it's believable that he steps into wrestling and can handle this because he boxes sometimes too. So,
did he get hurt last time he wrestled? Didn't he get something happen to him?
I don't know.
I think that was like last WrestleMania, and then he did not get hurt when he did the Ricochet cross ring.
Oh yeah,
he tore his ACL or something, but he came back and immediately just jumped as far as he possibly could.
Next up, 6-woman tag team match: Trish, Lita, and Becky Lynch defeat Damage Control, Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Brandon, thoughts?
Nice. I mean, I like those. I'm a big fan of Lita, Trish Stratus, and Becky Lynch, and the other three as well. But maybe my top three as far as having a crush on them. One 3-way tag team.
Which three?
You know what I'm talking about. Lita, dude.
Okay, Lita. Chris, thoughts?
I mean, yeah, it'll be fun.
Okay.
I think it's a foregone conclusion who's going to win.
You don't think Io Sky's pinning Lita at WrestleMania?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure Io Sky's eating the pin.
Yeah, I do not. I think Dakota Kai's the pin eater for that team.
Yeah.
I think they protect Io Sky pretty well. As far as I can tell. I don't know. All right, here we go. Ready? Fuck yeah. Singles match. Now, this is what I'm pumped for. Brock Lesnar versus Omos. This is going to be ridiculous. Brandon, thoughts?
If they don't collapse the ring, this is a waste of time.
So I watch Jeopardy every night, right? Well, this week, the stars of the WWE have been on Wheel of Fortune, which comes on right after Jeopardy.
I saw them before we started.
Yeah, and they did a whole thing.
I was hoping you were going to say Jeopardy.
No, I wish. Oh, they had a category on Jeopardy. So, okay. Everybody knows, the companies deny this, but your phone fucking listens to you. Don't let the companies tell you they don't. So I'll watch Jeopardy with my wife, and my phone in the news section constantly sends me news stories about how Jeopardy fans are upset at this. Jeopardy fans are upset that this happened. Like, you fucking geeks, first of all. And I constantly have to tell it, less stories like this, less stories. Every day there's a fucking Jeopardy story. They had a category in WWE, the stars of the WWE. I only caught a couple of the answers. One was like Andre the Giant. Like, it wasn't anything too crazy. Jeopardy fans feel that WWE is dumbing down its show with the stupidity of the WWE. I was like, I thought it was fucking hilarious. But anyway, during the Wheel of Fortune gimmick, they showed like highlights for you can win, and if you win a wrestling show of your choice, any of the special events, and one of the scenes they show is Brock Lesnar with a backhoe lifting up the ring, which I don't remember this.
Yeah,
but it's fucking spectacular.
Yeah, he pulled
anyway,
the backhoe.
That's I just want to tie it all into that. There you go, backhoe or get me the fuck out of here. Chris, thoughts?
I don't think you bring Brock Lesnar unless he's in a main event. To be honest with you.
Well, he wasn't going to work. He wasn't going to work with fucking Bray Wyatt. That's for sure. He turned that down apparently.
Yeah, who cares? It's probably going to be good. Two giant dudes throwing haymakers at each other. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be bad.
No,
I just think that people just aren't interested into it. Yeah, I think I'm going to say that with you. I think it's going to be fucking awesome.
I don't care what WWE fans think. When I look at this fucking card, I don't watch their stupid fucking show because it stinks. But when I look at this card, what stands out to me is Brock Lesnar, a giant, against a fucking 7'5" gigantic man with the deepest voice ever. Yeah. That's what I stare at.
Yeah.
And when they talk about casual fans, and I used to make fun. What the fuck's a casual fan? I'm a casual WWE fan.
Yeah.
I'm a guy that checks in 3 times a year and goes, huh. Oh, let me look at this. I don't really care about it. Oh shit. That giant dude's fighting Brock Lesnar. Fuck yeah, I'll watch that. I'm your casual. I finally qualified for a category.
As soon as you get that first shot
besides poor. Go
ahead. Well, I'm in that category too. As soon as you get that first shot of Brock Lesnar, the guy that's got 9 inches and 90 pounds on him, zooming at and they zoom out the giant arena. Shut the fuck up. That's entertaining.
Yes. What was we don't have to keep telling people to listen, but maybe you're new listening here. What was the match we were most excited for last year? The Jackass match. Thank you very much. That's our wheelhouse. Dumb is our fucking wheelhouse. Big, dumb dopes. Pretend fighting in the ring. Brock Lesnar and Omos. Fuck yeah. I'm on fucking board. MVP's in this match too. He's going to take a bump. This is going to be great.
I'm starting to feel like this drum kick is designed specifically for me, and I don't know if I like it.
Trying to get it queued up, but I'm not very good at handling multiple windows because I haven't worked in an office in so long. So it takes me forever to get to it before I can hit it.
I keep setting off the Badum hiss alarm on the Wrestling is Hard podcast, and I don't know if...
Oh, gosh. Chris, final thoughts on Brock and Omos?
Move on.
Singles match for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair, the champ, defends against Asuka. Brandon?
Does Vito have anything to say about this?
Oh.
Vito pulled up.
There he is. That's Vito. That's Vito smelling what's her name's butt. Rhea Ripley. No, sorry.
I can't imagine that there's much of a story to this.
What is it? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. And Asuka's kind of crazy person, Asuka.
Is she a bad guy?
She's like Kana Asuka. She came out like fucking painted like
came out Nazi uniform.
One white eye and yeah, she looked pretty good.
I have a question for you guys real quick. I was halfway through a WrestleMania preview when we started this podcast because I literally have no idea what the matches are, so I could try to gather a thought or two.
And I saw more research than me, that's for sure.
I saw people bitching that this match was like, why are they fighting? And I was honestly like, who cares? I don't think, even if it's WrestleMania, not every fight on a card has to be like some drama behind it. Just these two would be interesting to see each other.
We just heard Moxley talk about that in this podcast. Not everything has to be, I broke into somebody's house and stole $10,000. Now he's coming after me, which I think is his actual quote.
So, to your point, we often bitch about, well, we don't because we don't watch it. But one of my biggest complaints about Raw was always, it's 3 hours long. Right? SmackDown. You got 5 hours of live TV on WWE every week. Even with 5 hours of live TV, you can't possibly cultivate enough storylines that make sense to have 2 nights of WrestleMania and have every match be the culmination of a storyline. Like, you can't. It's fucking impossible, right? Some matches on WrestleMania would have to be a chapter in a storyline, if they even have a story. If everybody's got a story, not all of them can end on the same day, right? Some of them have to, well, we know WWE, nothing ever ends, but you know what I mean? Like, you have to have like your A story, maybe that one would come to an end, Roman and whoever, whatever. But then maybe Asuka and Bianca Belair is like D-level story. We're just getting this thing fucking started. So, you know, I mean, maybe this is people complaining about this. There's no reason for them to be wrestling. Well, maybe we're finding out the reason on Sunday or Saturday night, right?
Right. It's not like we're, you know, we've talked about this before. WrestleMania isn't the reset button. It's not the beginning.
No,
it's not the end of the season. It doesn't work that way anymore.
Right.
It's different with like Wrestle Kingdom and stuff, where you know that this is the end of the story cycle, and then January 5th at New Year Dash is the beginning of the new story cycle. It doesn't work that way in WWE. So maybe this is chapter 1 or chapter. I don't. They've wrestled before, but you know, this version of Asuka or whatever. Next up, singles match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair, the champ, is against Rhea Ripley, whose butt I was mentioning. Vito was probably sniffing. Brandon, thoughts?
Not much. I feel like this has been going on for a while with those two. Was this WrestleMania last year? Was it the Pirate one?
It was
Didn't
an
they
empty
do
stadium.
Rhea Ripley and
They did Rhea Ripley and Charlotte in an empty stadium, right?
Yeah, that was the 2020 Mania, I believe.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Which was good. It was a great match.
It was fun. Hopefully, if they keep running this back, I guess we'll get over at some point. I don't have not much interest in this.
Right, Chris?
Now, this is, if you gave me 2 matches to watch, this is one of those 2.
Yeah, we're not Charlotte haters over here. I like Charlotte. Right?
No, this is, you know, I won't go as far as to say I'm excited for this match, solely because I'm not invested in this match. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure it's going to be really good, and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy watching it. And I really don't. With these two, you don't really need any kind of backstory. She won the Royal Rumble.
Right.
You know, she went around the horn in the Royal Rumble, and which, you know, they don't really, once again, I just assume shit. I don't know if they really play into that too much, that she was like she was the first one in and she won it. So Rhea Ripley. So this is, I don't really need much of a storyline going into this. And it's just 2 badass women going at it. I enjoy it. It's probably going to be one of the better matches.
And also, you know, to your point about that, and Brandon mentioned it too, is there's plenty of people on this card that we enjoyed at some point. May not watch them now, but we enjoyed them. And I like people on this card. So it's going to make me want to watch, regardless of whether or not I know what the fuck's going on, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I just want to add real quick that if you could see my dog right now, you would think I stole all of his Halloween and Easter candy all at the same time. So he's looking at me. so fucking spoiled. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's so goddamn spoiled. It's ridiculous.
All right, who's main event? Do we know who main events night 1? Is it going to be
night
Charlotte?
Night 1 main event is Charlotte Flair, and
we know this. This is
I
confirmed?
believe so. Yeah. I'm about 99% sure, 95% sure, because they were talking about it.
Okay.
You start asking definitive questions like that. I'm like,
I don't know. Let me check Melts. He might know. All right, let's go into night 2. Now we have 1 confirmed match, but I'm going to go through the entire card. We'll do the. It's night 2B C confirmed, I guess. 2B confirmed. So these could be on night 1. They could be on night 2. Night 1 has 6 matches, and there's 6 matches here. So we'll see what's going on. Okay, triple threat for the WWE Intercontinental Championship match. Gunther, the champ, a.k.a. Walter, versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre, who was on Wheel of Fortune last night. Brandon, thoughts?
How'd he do?
His team lost.
This match seems okay. A lot of slaps bloody, set it off, get the wrestling fans going.
Yeah, this is definitely a match that starts the show, right?
I think you'd be silly not to.
Yeah, this has to.
Right?
This gets everybody hot.
Yeah.
A lot of red chests.
Mm-hmm. Chris, thoughts?
I'm not a Drew McIntyre fan.
His hair was very dyed on.
Oh God!
On Wheel of Fortune in those studio lights, his hair looked fucking terrible. Good.
The smugness, the fake tough guyness, the fake insane manness. It doesn't get over with me. Him in the ring, the other hand, I think he's like, for a big guy, he's like a great fucking big man that doesn't really come off as a big man because he's so svelte, but he's a fucking giant. Walter or Gunther. What did I say they were going to change his name to? Nate Z. Nate Z.
Nate Z.
Nate Z. Fucking that dude. He's another one of those guys I talked about last week. Is just a big bad motherfucker, right? Doesn't have to be a goddamn bodybuilder. Doesn't have to look like perfect. This is just a big tough son of a bitch. I'm a big.
And this
fan
is
of
the
his.
svelte version of him.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not like fucking, Drew McIntyre.
No.
Right? He's not greased and hairy. And can we just say, I don't think that Sheamus gets enough fucking credit for being as awesome as he is. I really don't. He could be, I'm not saying work wise or his he could be the most valuable person on their entire roster. You insert Sheamus here, and it's going to be fucking entertainment.
I was just going to say that he's definitely like a block that fits any hole. Like you can just fit him in anywhere.
He is so fucking good, and I just don't think he gets the credit for it because it's all about
diggity, I'm Irish,
and it's all about this superficial shit that people see, right? But I mean, look, believable in the role. Fucking him with when he started coming out with the Jeff cap and the fucking shillelagh and the coat, that was like, all right, we nailed it. He looks like, The Departed. He looks like fucking shitty low class Irish gangster from fucking wherever, and he fucking played into it perfectly. And he's just shown he's probably, in my opinion, one of the most valuable wrestlers in the fucking world right now. You can insert him anywhere. You could send him to New Japan and put him in a main event, and he would be fucking awesome with whoever he worked with. And I just don't think he gets enough credit for that.
Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. That's the take. Did you guys see that picture of it was Sheamus and Drew McIntyre at the dispensary? And someone was like posted, it was like, this is an hour before Raw.
No, I didn't see it. Buying that herb.
That just made me laugh that those guys are just getting stoned and walking out and fucking working WWE main event. And
I mean, you might be doing it after, but
yeah, he may be getting it before and hold on to it afterwards. But as an avid drug user, you plan to do that, and then you get the drugs and do them all immediately. So I don't know. I don't know. There were quite a few shows at the Trocadero Theater by the time the main fucking act came on. I was fucking tripping my balls off, like completely fucking useless, all for $40.
There you go.
Yeah, admissions. It's good times, man. Good times. Yeah. This is gonna get
Hell in a Cell match.
What's
Hell in a Cell match. Edge versus the Demon Finn Balor. Brandon, thoughts?
I don't think that I have a single thought about this.
Chris, do you have any thoughts?
I won't not watch it. Right? I won't go to the bathroom. Like, I mean, you've been in my basement. I can watch TV from the crapper. So maybe I will go to the bathroom. But I think the Demon's kind of dumb. And I think the Demon doesn't work when he's a heel. Right? Don't you have to push the good guy, the good-natured good guy, the guy who's trying to do the right thing? Don't you have to push him to a point in which he turns pure evil?
I'm going to call the Demon.
I mean, nobody's watching Bill Bixby turn into the Hulk if he's fucking picking people's pockets and beating up old ladies. Like if it's Bill Bixby stars in Grand Theft Auto and he's fucking robbing people, and then he turns into the Hulk because somebody tries to stop him. You're really not that sympathetic to that character.
It's true. Here we go. Here's the get everybody on the card matches. Women's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Match. Liv Morgan and Raquel Gonzalez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. Also, the men's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Match. Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders with Valhalla. Who is Valhalla?
Valhalla is
that the wife?
It's the wife. Is MAGA wife.
Oh yeah, MAGA wife. What the hell was her name?
Crazy Mary Dobson. And she was
Sarah
Logan.
Logan, that's right. Okay, thoughts, Brendan, on either of those matches?
They can't put those back to back. That's full.
No,
order a pizza, eat a pizza, take shit the pizza out. You got to kill a lot of time to get through all that.
Yeah, they've got to be split up on different shows. This is definitely the maybe this is the match after a Hell in a Cell match or something like that, or after Omos and Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
Chris,
I was going to say Little Caesars hasn't come out with a novelty product to keep us laughing for that long.
No, Chris.
Oh, this is Garbo Central. Maybe this is. Do they have pre-show stuff? And also, don't we have two battle royals?
I don't think WWE's doing pre-show anymore.
No, and I think I was heard.
Because AEW at the last pay-per-view didn't do pre-show match either. Interesting.
Yeah, they did.
Did they? What was it?
One, I think. Penta was involved in it.
Oh, right. It was Mark Briscoe. That's right.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Shows how much I watched it. I don't know. There were some wrestlers in it.
Yeah, you guys missed that match. Remember?
I had it on my house. We weren't watching it. I was doing some shit.
There you go. There's our hot take on those two fucking shit matches. Next up, tag team match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. The Usos, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, WrestleMania. This is the main event.
No, I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? No, main event. Okay. We haven't gotten to the main event yet.
Okay, yeah, I guess I was thinking of these guys interfering in the main event, but this should be fun. I guess we're ramping up. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I'm gonna be asleep. There's no way I'm not asleep at this point.
Yeah,
is it a Sunday?
That's Sunday. This is I'm working. I'll have it on at work. Chris, thoughts?
Well, I already said this is probably going to be my match of the year and most compelling storyline leaving it.
Okay, I don't know. I don't care. But power to you, brother. I like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. WWE doesn't present tag team wrestling as anything intriguing. So,
yeah, but I think it's all going to pile into everything that's been going on. Right. So we'll talk about it when we get to it.
Right.
I'll make my point.
Singles match: Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. Okay, now that's not it. So,
bro, last night,
go ahead.
He came out. And I was screaming that he needs to do it. I was to myself, we don't talk about it. Dominic Mysterio came out and said, I wish Eddie was my father. There you go. Now we're into a good territory here. I think Dominic Mysterio has been fucking phenomenal as this asshole. He's been so good. And look, my knowledge of what Dominic Mysterio is doing is fucking reduced to 30-second clips on Instagram. So I don't really know shit. From what I'm saying, I'm like, this is good. This is really fucking good. He was cursing his mother. Go to hell in the stands. And then he said something to her, and Rey Mysterio finally snapped and said, that's not just your mother, that's my wife. Beat him up. Yeah, so this should be good. This Rey Mysterio is always in good matches.
Yeah. I like that Dominic Mysterio would rather have the drug addict Deadman as his father instead of his actual father.
Yeah.
All because his father put up. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
His father lost his eyeball and had it put back in his head in a match.
Oh, it's out.
Oh, it's out.
Oh, it's out.
Reddit thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, Dominic Mysterio might be pigeonholing himself here because I don't know that he could ever do anything funnier than fighting his dad.
With
Eddie
fake
Guerrero
tattoos.
being it.
Oh
Eddie
my God.
Guerrero should have beat his dad. His mom's stinking. He is the most privileged guy in WWE.
I know.
It's fucking great. I love it.
I'm loving it too. I'm very excited for that. Main event, I'm assuming. Singles match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman versus American tattooed neck, white supremacy tattooed neck with a black wife, Cody Rhodes. Brandon, thoughts?
You think this is getting the main over the fatal four-way tag Viking experience?
I think Viking experience. Viking Raiders they are now. They're not the experience anymore. I didn't know that didn't happen. Are you Viking experienced?
How did
Brandon?
that make it through a fucking room? You don't understand.
Vince.
This isn't, you're not Vikings. You're bringing people with you.
You're
cosplayers. And experience.
Maybe he was explaining like, yeah, we go out and we do like cosplay. Like we go to Ren fairs and we dress up like knights and stuff like that. And he goes, well, why would you do that? And he goes, I don't know. It's a good experience. And he was like, that's it. You're the experience now.
Bring me my secretary. I need a fucker.
Maybe Vince sexually assaulted somebody at the medieval times and was like, we need to recreate this.
He's drinking it. Well, he's drinking his plastic medieval times cup filled with Coca-Cola.
Wow. Do you think he was ever in fucking Titan Towers, like on the mezzanine, humping the wall like Al Swearingen for Deadwood? Like, I need to fuck something. Guarantee you.
Yeah. You think he fucks that dinosaur head on his wall?
Oh, 100%. Why do you think it's there?
I'll show you who's the top of the food chain.
You're extinct. And I'm still here. It was me. I killed the dinosaurs. It was me all along. Feels his head like dinosaur's dead.
Wow.
We don't need a soundboard. Chris has got him.
Yeah, Chris is just making it crazy. And it was like that. Chris, okay, so you had thoughts on the main event. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, probably won't happen like this, but so first of all, fantasy book, the intrigue of this story, if you're paying attention to it, would be the bloodline losing every title. They never do that. We talk about this in a lot of things. Oh, the whole faction should lose a title. This gives them, and then Roman Reigns lose his mind and beat the shit out of everybody and really start being a fucking total heel. Whatever. But it leads itself to Backlash. The main event will be a 6-man. Kevin and Sami Zayn and fucking neck
Goats.
tattoo versus versus the Reigns people. But here's the thing. This is my prediction. And I just thought about this in typical WWE fashion. Cody Rhodes comes back. Everybody's excited for him. Gets injured, whatever. He comes back. People are still on board with Cody Rhodes. And I think a lot of people were on board with Stardust when it was going on, but it was silly and he didn't want to do it. But I think people were enjoying that character. Whatever. People were on the Cody Rhodes train. Cody Rhodes comes back. Cody Rhodes wins the title at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes gets fucking hurt. Cody Rhodes doesn't wrestle ever with the title. Cody Rhodes loses the title. Cody Rhodes is mired in shit storylines for the next 6 years. Sound good?
Is that what's going to happen?
That's usually the WWE fucking formula, where it's like, oh well, man, it didn't work. He got hurt. Let's move on. I mean, it was Danielson. Danielson never came back, and then when he did come back, and then he came back, and I mean, it was just like he got mired in shitski, and yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I don't hate Cody Rhodes.
I like Cody Rhodes.
I mean,
I don't. I'm assuming this version of Cody Rhodes is the same as the
AEW.
It's the same character, but it's just not the weird version that we had. Is weird universe that we were involved in.
No, because I mean, look, it's almost a situation where you have a guy who is more in control of what his character is doing. And not every idea he has. Some of his ideas are really bad, but he's still getting them through, right? The perfect example of that, he wasn't a wrestler, but who's the guy, the Attitude Era guy that went to WCW,
Vince
writer,
Russo.
Vince Russo. When you had Vince Russo ideas that got filtered through Vince McMahon or other people, and they were like, yeah, this one's good, these 8 are bad. We've got a filter on them. And now you're having Cody Rhodes not having as much not having the creative control that he may have had in AEW. And you're just getting him playing inside of the box that he's being, the storyline, the script that he's being given, maybe having a little bit of an ability to tweak certain things, but the script that he's given, and he comes off, he's not going to come off weird. I think, when they were showing that Roads to the Top show, it almost looked like everything that came off bad was fucking hatched right from his head.
Mm-hmm.
And, his father wasn't that much better, right? Like, there are ways that you do. I think what happens is that you have these grand schemes of what you want to do as a character, right? You want your character to do these things. This is how I want to tell my character. These are the things that are going to happen. But you're not a fucking television writer. So you don't know how to deliver these things on TV in a timely fashion. It just comes out like a garbled fucking mess. Are you wearing a fucking La Parker shirt?
See.
Oh.
I wear a wrestling shirt every week.
I'm done.
Up to you guys to know.
Yeah. You sat back and I just saw that fucking face. I was like, "You kidding me?" I saw it. I was like, "Nice."
See, Brandon, any thoughts on the codes?
What do you think about the Dusty Rhodes not being that good? I wasn't around for it.
He was fine, Dusty Rhodes. I mean, I'm a little young to really get peak Dusty Rhodes, and we only got the end of him.
I'm talking about him as a writer.
Oh, as a writer.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it was a goofy time. You're competing with Vince with his weird shit.
Right. And, I'll tell
the
you.
Dark Scorpion shit was fucking terrible. What was the terrible payoff? And I'm trying to think of the stuff that was like I'm sure he wrote a lot of his own stuff, like him getting attacked by the 4 Horsemen and breaking his arm and everything. Like, he probably had a hand in that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the Dusty stuff was it before Bill Watts or after Bill Watts?
It was during and after Bill Watts.
Right.
Kevin
when
Sullivan
he was on color commentary, he was writing.
Yes.
So so the pay-per-view we watch, Halloween Havoc, that's got Dusty written all over it.
Yeah.
Terrible pay-per-view. Terrible.
Yeah.
The Phantom.
But it's also got Bill Watts written all over it.
It does. The Phantom of WCW has arrived. The Phantom.
The Phantom of WCW has arrived, and you can see his mustache. And then the Dark Scorpion arrives, and you can see fucking Flair's beak through the mask from a mile away.
Right.
But I've listened to Eric Bischoff talk about
the Shockmaster.
Yeah. I listened to Eric Bischoff talk about this, and he said that, and that's where I got that, the television thing, that Dusty had these grand ideas. And what happened when Eric Bischoff took over as an executive producer is he hired television writers to finagle his ideas into storylines that made sense on TV.
Well, you had to make them practical. That's the catch.
That's it,
right?
The
whole argument against
well, why isn't this exactly like the comic book I read when I was 15?
Well, because it would turn into terrible television. We have to streamline it. That's why.
You can't have you have to be able to emote what you're thinking and not have the words of what's going on in your internal dialogue on the screen.
On the screen.
A comic book.
Yeah, come on. So there you go. Any other thoughts about Dusty? Yeah, some of that Dusty stuff was great, but some of it was completely off the wall. The Lethal Lottery, that's Dusty, right?
Battle Bowl, yeah. 100%.
Battle Bowl, the Lethal Lottery. What was the cyber one? Like, it was the whole pay-per-view, and it was like, is this the pay-per-view of the future? Beep, 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 beep.
I don't know. Is that when RoboCop saves Sting?
No. That's different.
Dusty.
RoboCop, that's Dusty. Brandy, you know about RoboCop?
No, I do not.
Oh, my God. Chris, go ahead.
I hope I'm getting this right. Sting was locked in a cage.
Yeah, Sting was locked in a cage during I guess it was the Good Guys versus,
Beach, I believe.
Good Guys versus the Four Horsemen or some
Mhm.
or the Dungeon of Doom or whatever the big bad guy was at the time, and they were promoting RoboCop 2, and then the actual RoboCop showed up and broke the cage to get Sting out, and Sting came into the ring and saved the day with RoboCop by his side. I shit you not. This is a real thing. Maybe you need to go back and watch the RoboCop.
Very Diet Pepsi freeze off. Yeah, I'm actually interested in that.
Yeah.
Just from a disaster perspective.
So like, Mountain Dew matches are nothing compared to some of the shit we watch in WCW in the 80s and 90s. Like, this is fucking terrible. It wasn't, we were kids. I thought it was fucking great. We laughed our asses off. We thought it was hilarious. You know what I mean? As a kid, you're probably like a kid watching that Mountain Dew match. It's probably scared shitless.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And also you get money
but
from
as
Mountain
a
Dew.
jaded 40-year-old man sitting in his basement with no hair on top and a big neck beard going,
This is not what I expected from Bray Wyatt.
come on, fuck you, dude. I mean, it did stink, but I mean, come on. Kids love this shit. Yeah, Chris, you were saying?
Capital Combat 90.
That was the RoboCop?
Yeah. Watch RoboCop 2. Watch for RoboCop 2 coming this summer to theaters everywhere. So WCW obviously most likely was given money to advertise RoboCop. I'm sure they fucking needed it at the time. 90 is Bill Watts, right? Or it's not Bill Watts, the other guy who I can't think of his name. The one that told Ric Flair to cut his hair. That's who it
that's
is.
Hurd. Hurd, I think, was just a guy up top. He wasn't writing anything, I don't think.
No. But I don't think Bill Watts. I don't know. Who doesn't really matter because that's semantics. But yeah, he saved Sting from the Four Horsemen.
Okay.
And it's cited as the worst moment in WCW history. And
worse than the Shockmaster. Okay.
Yeah, and the impetus for the wrestling website WrestleCrap.com.
Oh, it started.
Which was a fucking great website. I don't know. I think it came back for a bit, but man, Brandon, there was a website called WrestleCrap, and it was fucking. It was all shit like this.
It was like Angel Fire style. It was just a list of things, and you could click on random shit.
Like a Craigslist of.
Right. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it looked like.
Mm-hmm. It was so good.
Yeah, it was great. That's how when I worked on the Philadelphia Stock Exchange, that's how I spent a lot of my time.
Oh yeah, so did I. Up, it's back. Let's see what we got here. Yep, and it's still pretty much the same.
The same, dude. There you go. WrestleCrap.com.
As
did this guy get in trouble or something? The WrestleCrap guy.
Jimmy's on the stock exchange floor, just going. I heard these guys might go public. The .com bubble's coming. You're going to want to buy in and WrestleCrap.
Okay. I was there for that, dude. I worked there for the .com. I was there for the .com bubble, and I was there for Enron, and 9/11. I was there for all of it.
Yeah, I remember you were there. You were there.
I was there for like epic moments. The only thing I missed was the banking fucking collapsed. I was gone by that point. I would have caught 4 of the bigger fucking things that happened in the last 20 years. I would have been there, ground zero during it. Absolutely, the Enron shit was insane.
Let's get into it. Can we talk about it? The Enron shit. Just the day that it happened.
No, it was rumored for a long time, so it wasn't something that happened immediately. It was just like people just trying to get the fuck out of their positions because we traded options.
Well, you probably saw, like, I know a bunch of the Enron execs like moved out of there shortly beforehand. I would imagine that would trickle through.
Yeah.
Enron's not looking too hot, and then one day the bottom just falls out.
Well, it was an interesting thing, and I don't know if this is true or not. I'd have to look it up. When I first started down there was automated trades were not a thing yet. That's how long ago it was. Like even companies like Ameritrade, like the early online ordering, they still had to call, like, you put your order in to some dude who called the order onto the floor. It wasn't automated yet. And there was a lot of stuff that was still singly listed. So like Home Depot you could only buy Home Depot options in stock in Philadelphia. Or not stock. Stock you bought on the New York Stock Exchange. But options, you could only buy them in Philadelphia. Trying to think of Dunkin' Donuts, I think was another company. It was just Philly. So it was a different time. And then once everything got automated and Like it just blew up. But I think Enron might have been a singly listed stock in Philadelphia, if I remember correctly. Jesus. Which was interesting. Nowadays, it's just like, you know, I can go on my fucking phone and order. But back then, it was, yeah, Robinhood, right? It's an interesting time. I didn't learn shit, though. Learned the basics, and they didn't teach me anything else. They were like, all right, whatever. Here's some money. I mean, like it's just waste, nonstop waste. There you go.
Nonstop waste.
Back to
Can I just tell you real quick?
Yeah,
I went on Wrestle Crap. It's still there, so it's something I think you should check out. I don't know if it's still as goes back as far as it used to, but on the header there are 4 wrestlers' heads, 2 on either side of the WrestleCap. The 4 wrestlers' heads are Aldo Montoya, I believe, the Portuguese Man of War.
Yes,
it's just incredible. The Repo Man.
Yes.
Is it Barry Darso? No. Oh, it doesn't matter. Barry Darso.
Barry Darso, right?
El Gigante. And my personal favorite, Bastion Booger, which is this guy's personal favorite too. I know he's always about Bastion Booger.
Holy shit. There's right there at the top of the screen, Kill Bill with Beth Phoenix and Kairi Sane. I've never seen this video before. Holy shit, Beth Phoenix. Jesus Christ. Look at that caboose. There you go. It's still here. It looks exactly the fucking same. This is amazing.
Yep. I'm glad that he didn't try to make it look any better.
There's all kinds of new stuff on here. Look, it's Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee.
Yeah, it's good. We're going to have to check
Dean Ambrose, the germaphobe. Yes, Wrestle Crap. Fuck yeah, I know what to do when I'm bored now.
Click the Hulk Hogan wristband candy dispenser.
Oh my God, look at that thing. Oh man. It just came to my attention, and I didn't know this thing existed, that there was a Jar Jar Binks taffy where it was Jar Jar Binks' face. And you just squeeze the trigger and the mouth opens and you lick his tongue. You're French kissing fucking Jar Jar.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Oh, back to wrestling, by the way. Is there what of these matches? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm done. I was going to say, which ones of these matches are you excited for most, Brandon?
I agree. I'm also done.
All right, then I'll just say Brock Lesnar and Omos. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Rey Mysterio and Dom Mysterio. Everything else I don't care about. And my favorites. I want to see my favorites. I want to see Io. I want to see Dakota Kai, Bayley, Asuka, Bianca Belair. All the girls. I want to see all the girls. There you go. Thanks for joining us this week. Here every week. So where are you watching, Brandon?
I don't know. Maybe you got Lorraine Bar. Maybe I'll stop over if you're working.
I'll have it rocking and rolling up there. No sound though, sorry. But be rocking and rolling. My TV doesn't have much volume. I found that out during the Eagles game. I couldn't get any louder than a gentle whisper. And man, there were some people pissed they couldn't watch Rihanna. I was like, sorry, what are you gonna do? Go to fucking garage and watch it. You know what I mean? What the fuck you want from me? But
you're my line.
I have it on Saturday and Sunday, but I won't be around Saturday. I'll be spending time with my wife. I'll probably watch Saturday's show on Monday afternoon. Okay, Chris, you were saying?
My line. You ain't chained to the radiator.
That's true. Yeah.
Somewhere else.
There's a door. I don't know what to tell you. Brandon, thoughts?
I swear I remember Kid Rock cranking the anthem through the Lorraine Bar during one of these WrestleManias. Did the speakers blow out, or
it's a different TV?
Am I making this up? Okay.
No, it's a different TV. The TV isn't hooked up to the stereo system. I could do that, but I'd have to buy an extender for the wires that already exist in the wall, and I don't feel like fucking doing it. And I'd have to pull the TV down because I don't know where the hell the connector is, where the audio input and output are. I don't know where they are on the TV.
Can I give you another translation for what Jim just said?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about anybody enough to actually put the effort in, so you guys can deal with it the way it is. Bye. That's my translation of what you just said. That's
I'll put the sound. I'll put the sound on. I'll put subtitles on, but I can't. I just won't get any louder than that. And another thing is that right? if I pump it through the speakers, mind you, no one else cares about wrestling. That comes in there. Nobody gives a fuck. Right. If I pump it through the speakers, everybody's got to listen to Corey Graves' bad jokes. You know what I mean? Like, and the cheering and the pumped-in cheering. It's going to be bizarre. Can't do that anymore. Remember when I used to sync up both
Cheesecloth
TVs?
died?
What's that?
since Cheesecloth Undies died.
Oh, R.I.P. I told you about that, right? R.I.P. that guy. Apparently, he was a great man.
Did he die?
Yeah, he's dead. R.I.P.
No, he's not.
Apparently, yeah. I don't know. I found out like fourth hand from some girl I used to work with. I guess was friends with him. She posted a picture like, "You were always suffering."
What did she say? She go, Jim.
You were always suffering through your cheesecloth underwear.
Jim, I have some.
As you shit through your cheesecloth underwear and you tried to capture the solids and separate the liquids, I knew that you were suffering. Cheesecloth underwear, if you're listening and you're still alive, send us an email.
You know who you are.
Jim, I have bad news. Yes, what's that? What is it? What is your bad news? Cheesecloth underwear has died. Cheesecloth underwear has died.
One final blowout.
Yeah, we had a couple of weirdos that were coming there. Chris, you were there for Dean Ambrose girl, right? Brandon, you weren't there.
Oh God.
She was real good looking.
Dude, let me tell you something. There's always somebody there that ruins it for me and I have to go home.
Uh-huh.
Like, do me a favor. When the crew that was coming in for wrestling was stoked on like Finn Balor, lasers and stuff. And like, yo, that's so awesome. I was like, okay, I don't belong in this room. There is a fucking disconnect here that you think this is cool as you think it. And I think it is awful. And I like some awful shit. And
but there's a crew of people, and I hate to say it, but we're like the enlightened ones, the three of us, where we legitimately enjoy something that we know 100% is staged.
Yeah, it's dumb.
There's still
it's
people
fun.
that are in that, like there's a percentage of their brain that thinks it's all real in their head. Certain things, you know what I mean?
That might be one of them.
They had to get hurt.
There is, in my opinion, a definite. I mean, I don't think this is too far-fetched. There's a definite. It comes so. Any kind of culture like that, where people are really into this thing, whether it be pro wrestling, comic books, or anything like that, Star Wars. There is a definite feeling at the top, the people that run these things, they're like, we got them.
Yeah.
We got them. We got their fucking money.
I'm hoping we get them with CM Punk. I can't wait. I love being fooled. Fool me.
Oh, man, I'd be so happy. People will be angry. I'll be so happy.
Oh, my God. People be trying to rip their own eyeballs out. They'll be so upset. It'll be like a warp to an alternate dimension that they should not have seen. The fifth dimension. I'm going mad. It's real to me.
He doesn't respect the business.
Yes. He doesn't respect the business. I clean toilet.
I was laughing at Jimmy bringing up the is he hurt thing because one time a guy actually did die on a WWE pay-per-view, and I'll tell you what didn't happen. 9 refs came sprinting down the ramp to go check on him.
No, they all had cheesecloth underwear because they all just shit themselves and blow them out.
That's true. Oh, WWE Hall of Fame. We forgot to mention that.
Let's do it.
Kid Rock? I would. No, he already is in. Remember, he was we're going to take them libtards. And remember, he got
God, he was libtarding.
He was libtarding.
I have such my opinion of him has dropped so much because he said that.
Yeah.
I actually heard a funny story about him. If you guys want to hear it, it's like I'll tell it in like 45 seconds.
Go ahead.
I heard this on a podcast. Someone was like doing. I guess he does like a New Year's Eve bash, and he does this thing where he'll like show up drunk and act like he's having a good time talking to like all the acts, and then he'll hand like the poorest guy this wristwatch and be like, "Here, this is $250,000. I want you to have it." Like he's hammered, and then watch all of the people fight over it. Like, you don't deserve that. And I guess it's just some like $20 Amazon watch that looks like it's really expensive.
Pretty good.
That's like his entertainment. It's just like watching all these people just like Gollum, Lord of the Rings over this Kid Rock's watch.
Good. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Speaking of Hall of Fame, Rey Mysterio Jr. entered into the Hall of Fame. The Great Muta, still on his Great Muta retirement tour. He's going to be introduced. Rey Mysterio is going to be inducted by Conan. So we get to see. We're going to be confused between Rey Mysterio's head and Conan's cyst. The Great Muta. Oh, let me go through everybody. The Great Muta will be inducted by Ric Flair. Flair working his way.
Woo! Sorry.
So, Chris. Ric Flair. I just heard you. You came into the room. What is your? Have you practiced out your speech yet?
I was saying a style, woo, and profiling. It was Muda, and the Japanese called it a horse, woo. Muda! When he starts breaking his head open.
Rick, stop punching your own head. Stop. Calm down.
Dad. Dude. Oh, God.
Charlotte just entered the chat.
I guess I hope he gets is Ozzy Osbourne inducting anybody?
No.
Because if he is, then we have possibility for the death of the two of them at the exact same moment. Just gonna say.
I like they're just like, hey, Ric Flair, I heard that it came out that you showed your dick and made women touch your dick. Yeah, come on up on stage. No big deal.
They don't fucking care.
But this one, Stacy Keibler. Oh. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Stacy Keibler. Celebrity inductee. Inductee. Andy Kaufman, inducted by Jerry Lawler. R.I.P. Andy Kaufman. Are we getting that other? Are we going to get that other character that Andy Kaufman used to draw? The fake Andy Kaufman?
Tony Clifton?
Yeah, Tony Clifton. Brady, you know anything about Andy Kaufman?
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know Tony Clifton.
Tony Clifton was one of his characters.
He was like this crass lounge.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah, and then when they were like, oh, that's obviously Andy Kaufman, he would have Bob Zamuda play him.
Yeah, you'd have somebody else come
in the same place at the same time.
Did you ever watch that Jim Carrey documentary about him getting into character for Andy Kaufman?
Man in the Moon.
Yeah, there's Man in the Moon, then there's a documentary about him trying to do it. It doesn't matter if you guys didn't watch it, but it's fucking weird. It made me actually not like Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey's an odd dude.
He's fucking nuts.
Let me tell you something about Jim Carrey.
Yes.
When Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, Jim Carrey was like, fuck all you, I retire. He was like, I couldn't believe I was sitting there and they were fucking applauding him after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Was he there?
I think so, yeah. Whatever, maybe he was watching it. I don't know. But he said, I couldn't believe it. He said, you better believe if he had done that to me, I would have had him arrested that moment. Yeah. He said, there's no way I wouldn't have. But I realized that I was a member of a group of people that had absolutely no morals or no values or nothing whatsoever. And I don't want to be part of them anymore. So I give him a lot of credit for that. He came out and said, fuck all yous.
And then Will Smith went and won an award and acted like nothing happened. Then what happened? Partied afterwards.
And then came out, and after Chris Rock's special came out and said, I'm really embarrassed that he said those things about me at that special. I think you should stop talking about it. Something along those lines.
Yeah, we should all forgive him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care. The fucking show hasn't been entertaining in fucking 100 since Marlon Brando had that girl come out and say, I don't want your fucking award.
Yeah, right.
Nobody gives a shit about that show.
I'll tell you what.
Fucking show.
I'll tell you what. I'm a sucker for
fist fights.
They do fantastic. Whoever produces the vignettes on them do a fantastic job. Because they'll show a lot of movies, older movies that I'm a big fan of, and it'll actually get me into an emotional state that I was when I first saw those movies, or think about how awesome they were. And when they do, and this sounds, I don't give a fuck what it sounds like. We talk about this all the time. When they name all the dead people, because they show all the awesome shit that the dead people were in. But other than that, I could care less.
Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit.
Jokey. The dogs are in the shed, or whatever the fuck he left his note.
Fuck that guy.
There you go. You excited for the Hall of Fame that I won't watch?
I'm not. I'm not. Right. Remember when that guy came in the ring after Bret Hart?
Yeah. FTR hair beat him up.
It's Ric Flair.
Why did the guy was just trying to be part of the show? What was that all about? Do we ever get an answer?
Mentally ill. Let's just go with that. Yeah.
Mentally ill. Okay. He's like, I'll put it. Oh God. Speaking of mentally ill, the guy that tried to attack Hulk Hogan during the turn, and then fucking Kevin Nash beat the fucking shit out of him.
They don't show it anymore.
No, they don't show it.
They don't fucking show it. They used to show it back in the day. They don't show it anymore. It didn't happen.
Might be on WrestleCrap. All right. Any final thoughts, Brandon?
No, I'm good.
Chris, final thoughts?
No, I'm good.
WrestleMania weekend. Let's get pumped up. Let's get fired up. Let's get fired up for it. Thanks for doing this. This week. I say every week at Wrestling is Odd. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Subscribe and follow. Tell your friends. And for Brandon and Chris, I'm Jim, and we'll be back here next week.